So welcome and thank you so much, Marneta, for second time around. Very, very kind of you. I was so excited when I first found you, very much from a very selfish perspective, because I was looking at anything that I can do to help my students learn better and become better therapists and grow better businesses. And one of the things, unfortunately, that does stop a lot of my therapists from getting where they need to are their children. And it's very, very important that we give our children absolutely, everything that they need when they need it. So to find tools and tips and techniques and all sorts of things that can help them is absolutely amazing. So I think it's probably better if I just stop waffling and hand you over, Marneta, to tell us all about how we can relax our kids and ourselves, I think, probably as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Louise. Thank you for this opportunity. And so just sit back and have a relax because, as we know, as Louise insinuated, it does start with us, and children will pick up our habits, our internal. We have like a wireless system. Everybody has this wireless system, and we're just sending out these vibes, and children are picking up on stressed parents, stressed teachers, stressed adults, and then we're wondering why children are so stressed. So if we first of all can just take a moment to look at our own stressors and stresses and really just make sure that we're managing our own stress. And I don't need to tell you how to do that. We know breathing is great, deep breaths and grounding, I would say, are the first two things that I would suggest doing. So let's take a deep breath now just to start. Take a really deep breath right into the diaphragm and breathing out. And just allow your whole body to melt into the chair and feel yourself softening from inside. And there's this lovely exercise I did with the children years and years ago. Just imagine you're an ice cream just melting and feel your whole body becoming soft and gooey and melty and relaxed. And it just takes a second. That's all it takes. Just 1 second. And this is a really lovely one to do as well. If you just open your eyes and tap the top of your head and breathe. And then down the back of the head and up. And another lovely one is just placing one hand in on your forehead and the other one at the back of the neck, or the base of the head, the skull, and just breathing. So you're really holding yourself. And relax. So we know self-regulation is so important. And when we can self-regulate, then we can help children self-regulate by co-regulation. And so when you have a stressed child, you can just bring them close and just manage your own breathing and those sorts of techniques, just the ones that we've done. Once you're in control of your breath and your relaxation, then they are coming into your wireless system and they'll slowly calm down as well. I really like to look at it in terms of helping children manage their stress. I like to look at it in morning and evening. So in the morning, what can you do first thing? Yes, of course, to make sure that you, even if it's a quick cup of tea, even if the first sip is won in peace. Even if you've got to slurp the rest, eat really quickly, just one, it's like doing things in mini ways to get mini moments of relaxation, because life is stressful. We know we have no time unless we make time and get up 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier to have some relaxation. But encouraging children around the breakfast table or while they're eating, if it isn't a whole family setting. I know my family, but that was in the 80s. We religiously sat at a certain time and we ate our breakfast. But I know things are slightly different now. And so I don't know how your breakfast situations are. But one thing that we do with the Relaxed Kids families is we have affirmation cards or mood cards where children will pick a mood or an affirmation for the day. So you could have them on the table, on the fridge. If they're all written out like a calendar, you could put affirmations on the calendar and have them there so children can set their mind, set their intention for the day. And I think that's really, and even if they forget it, they'll probably forget it, but it's just that routine of doing something each day to help them set their mind. And I have children now who are teens and beyond who have done this day after day, year after year, and they still remember when they did it when they were little. And so even if it's just a tiny thing that you can do to change your family routine, that's brilliant. So setting the morning off in a really good way, having a relaxation if you can, but I know it's really difficult. And one thing that my friend in the 80s did, she was a school teacher and she had lots of colored cardigans, and on each cardigan, on the inside label, she wrote peace, love, kindness, light, creativity. And when she was going to wear a cardigan, she would imagine she was putting on that quality. So, really feeling that quality infused into her body and also infused into that her day. And I've done this and it's fantastic. Even if you only do it as you're going to work or on the way to school. But it's something. And I've done it with children as well, and they absolutely love it. Um, Walking to school, I don't know whether anyone walks to school, but just something in each footstep. There's something we used to do when we were little, um, and it was, so you're walking on, you start with your right and you go, I left, I left, I took a good job on my left, I left before I thought it was right, I left, I left. And it's sort of like just a little simple thing like that can really help the grueling walk go much quicker. And or you could turn it into like a positive virtue value based um poem, that sort of thing. But little fun things. And I remember myself and my sister used to do it, and we would go faster and faster, and we'd find ourselves running, and it was wonderful. So that's a really lovely one. So setting an intention for the morning, a mood card, something on their clothing, and then also, so as your therapists, as well as parents, how would you how could it be that you could use your mind to color your room, whether it's your therapy room or your home or your bedroom? And I'll explain what I mean. So even before you go to work, go into your therapy room if it's at home, just imagine you're sending the color of peace or pink or green for love, open hearted or light, and just imagine you're sending that color into the room. And I bet you if you do this, your clients will pick up that feeling, because we as humans, we just work on, this is how we work on intentions and feelings, and we pick things up, atmospheres, and children will pick up atmospheres too. We know they can, they know because we have this antennae out. And if you were to think about how, what color would be is your home? Is your home red, hot, and anxious, frustration? What is the overriding feeling or color in your home? And if it is like that, if there is some anxiety, tension, using the mind to see if we can change that. And when you're walking towards going home, you've been out shopping, and just almost, what I do is, it's like I almost feel like a mist of blue or green is moving through the home. I was once in an well, I do struggle with a lot of pain, walking with sciatic pain. I've had it for 13 years, and I was working with a pain therapist, and she said, imagine you are walking, as you step out of the house, imagine you're walking through an arch of light, or it was an arch of coloured light, a rainbow. And so you're walking down like a rainbow road, and it really did help. So using colors can be really powerful. So that's another one. You using colors and the power of your vibration, so sending out a powerful thought. And this is really good also if you are struggling with someone. So this is on a personal level, whether it's a friend, someone in the family, someone in the extended family, someone at work, or one of your clients. If there is some sort of feeling between you that maybe you can't even put your finger on, or maybe you absolutely can put your finger on, and you know you feel hurt, or there's some frustration, or there's someone makes you feel anxious, there is a way to um, to clear this, whether that by just, well, what I do is I talk to that person in my mind. This sounds quite strange, but I remember doing this. Again, it was the late 90s. I had a friend for no reason, and I had to see her. She was yeah, we were very close, but I had to see her every day, and she ignored me for 2 years. But every single day in my mind, I just was sending her good thoughts rather than adding to the whole thought thing of oh, you're not talking to me, and I'm not talking, and that, because a lot of this is in going on the thought waves. I just like cleared the thought waves, and I just sort of smoothed it over, and I just carried on, didn't need to see her. If she ignored me, it was absolutely fine, kept talking in my mind. And then after 2 years, for out of the blue, she said hello. And the same thing happened with a neighbour who fell out over my dog, because I just put up a boundary, and she wouldn't speak to me. But I just thought, I'm just going to smooth this over, not allow any of that, not add to the thoughts. And yep, she said hello to me one day. So these sorts of, it's using our mind, isn't it? Whether it's through colors or feelings or positive thinking is really powerful. So, and if we can, in a way, teach children how to, they are brilliant at this. Absolutely brilliant. Once they get hold of these sorts of tools, they're brilliant. And a great way to start looking at using these with children is having a weekly or a monthly family meeting. I don't know whether anyone does this, but it's really powerful, no matter how old the children are. Even if they're little, the family meeting could be just everyone getting together and just saying something nice about themselves, each other, saying something that they've enjoyed this last week, or say something that you want to do next week together. And so and if you've got teens, then have a family meeting over a Sunday breakfast, or whatever works with your family. If you have more time to do it, something in the evening is really lovely. I have a friend, because I think a few years ago we suggested this to our Relaxed Kids families, and one of my friends did this with her teenage children. Actually, they were quite, not just teens, they're like really almost university age, and did it Christmas Eve, where they just sat round, lots of gratitude, talking about what they loved about each other, etc. Those sorts of things, and the girls said that that was the best bit of their Christmas. Because, what do children really, really want? They want connection. They want our time. They want our love. They want our connection. And they want to feel listened to and heard. So, any chance to put phones away, turn the TV off, even though there may be initially a little bit of, oh no, start slow. And with the meditation as well, with the relaxation, just 1 minute. And doing something for 1 minute is something that I've done for many, many years, and that's called traffic control. And traffic control, if you imagine the traffic of the mind, so your mind is darting all this traffic, lorries, cars, buzzing around in your mind, and then for 1 minute or 30 seconds, just stopping, putting some music on, closing your eyes, and just allowing the traffic to stop. And you can actually do it yourself at the traffic light. Instead of getting frustrated and just thinking, oh gosh, I'm late, use that opportunity in a queue. Instead of getting frustrated, just feel grounded, feel the feet, feeling alive. And with the traffic control, a few years ago, I live just down the road from a retreat center, a meditation center, and their practice is traffic control, where the music turns on the hour, every single hour, no matter what is happening. You could be cooking, cleaning, at the computer, arguing, whatever, and you stop. Everybody will stop for that 1 minute. It's actually now been extended to 3, but I think 3 is a bit much, but 1 minute or 30 seconds. And a few years ago, the children in our local school, the school burnt down, and so they had to go into prefab, but that wasn't good enough. So they went to the retreat centre, and it was 60 children, all ages, and they all sat down and did their classes in the dining room, and they had to do the traffic control because the music went on. The teachers did the traffic control, the children, all the way from 4 to 12-year-olds. Initially, they found it incredibly difficult, and then after a while, they found it easier. At the end of the 2 weeks, they all wrote what they loved about being there and their time, their experience there. And every single one of them said they loved the traffic control. Teachers said their work had improved because, of course, we know that when children's brains are still relaxed and calm, they're able to take information in. So if your children can go to school in a relaxed state, and if you're working with children and you're able to get them into a relaxed state, they're able to listen and learn, so you can do a little bit of relaxation or traffic control before homework time, just a moment or two, or listen to some meditation, put on a track, or read a meditation track just for 3 minutes, just to get their minds in the zone. That's really good. So traffic control is a really, really powerful one as well. And another great thing is getting outside. We know getting outside is amazing. I do forest bathing. I run forest bathing sessions where it's the Japanese. I just love that the Japanese created this, or I guess they've been doing it for hundreds of years. The idea that you're in nature, just bathing in that beautiful green vibrancy that comes from nature, whether we're hugging trees, feeling the earth beneath our feet, feeling the breeze, literally having a bath in the wind, feeling the rain on our face. I've done it all weathers. I do it every month, no matter what the weather, and it's amazing whether you're in the sun. And it's great having a dog actually, because often, especially now he's older, I have to let him out a lot. um, and so I open the door and I get a blast of wind, and it's really nice because you can be working at home inside all the time and not be connected to outside. So getting some time outside, I actually sleep with the window open even in the winter. And I can do that now he's deaf. Before I couldn't because he'd be barking at everything. But it's fantastic. I really, really like that I can do that. So just getting out for a second in between clients, um, just getting out in the air, having a traffic control moment in between clients, in spraying the room with a color, with your mind, with changing the energy in between clients is really good. So all these things are great for you, but also great for the children. I hope you can see how they can cross over beautifully. And then in the evening, yes, the traffic control, yes, having a few moments of calm and quiet, creating some sort of bedtime routine, which I'm sure you've got. But I really noticed the power of having low lights in the evening. Um, so I definitely turning the overhead light off and having lower lights, um, uh, lower bedside lights. There's something about it, when we were in tribes years ago, we'd have everything would be dark. We'd just have the campfire on, and there'd be an orange, yellowy, red glow, and that's really, really good for calming our nervous system, helping us relax, preparing the body to sleep. The bright overhead light is going to remind the body of the sunlight. So at least if we can just turn down the dimmers or have like a 40 watt rather than a really bright watt, that can really help. So if you struggle with sleep, just have a look at the light. And then of course we know, well, I'm in front of the blue light and so are you. Now it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, and we shouldn't really be in front of this blue light, but here we are, we're in this modern world. But we know definitely that the blue light from the computers, from the screens, from our mobiles is just not helpful for our sleep. And like with the fire, the fact that it's lower down as opposed to the sun being up, and it's orange, which is really, really calming for the brain, and also the crackle, the way that it crackles in an unrhythmic way is really calming for the brain, and the way that the lights flicker in an unrhythmic way, you don't, it's not rhythmic, is really, really good for the brain. So I guess even if you can get these things, can't you, on the screen, like a fire crackle, or some people have orange glasses, which is great too. So those are some things that you can do, and definitely I would suggest, if you can, if you have little ones, at least bedtime, after bedtime, at bedtime, after stories, having some sort of meditation, reading a meditation or listening to a meditation can really finish the day off beautifully And ideally, if you could start the next day with a meditation, that would be amazing. But I know it's not always possible. And you just have to take what you can do and then build. Do something small. Start with yourself, what feels good. Very often, we know children they'll either pick it up just from a distance, or when they see us doing it, they'll come in. I've had, it's so lovely. When we've had children exposed to these methods and they come to our classes or they listen to the meditations, we've had even little ones. I've had two or three situations when parents have said, oh gosh, I couldn't find I think that was a 4-year-old one, and I think the other one was 5. There's another one 3. And they were up in their bedroom with their dolls, teaching their dolls to meditate. And another little boy, he had built a little gate from his farmyard gates, little plastic gate all the way round him, and he got all his farmyard animals in this little gate, and he was in there doing his meditation. So they get it. We just have to do it with them and give them the opportunity and a chance. Something that I'll give you a little bit of a background to how I got into this. I was a children's entertainer in the early 90s when I left performing arts school. And over 10, 12 years, I noticed a change in children's behaviour. I just thought, why are they not sitting still and listening to my show? And I was sure my show wasn't getting worse. I think their attention, concentration was going down. So I introduced a little bit of meditation, having practiced meditation since I was 12, to the parties. And I just got them. I remember one party, these boys, there were 7, it was after school, they were scaling the wall, and I just thought, I can't control them. And so I thought, okay, everybody lie down on the floor. And I told them, like, I did a creative visualization meditation based on a fairy story, and it worked like that. And they were all relaxed. I said, okay, everyone get up. And we carried on with the show. And I thought, this is magic. So then I went about to write relaxations. Now, bear in mind, I did some research. There was nothing. I couldn't find anything in the UK. And so I had this idea to make it very acceptable to adults, to turn all the fairy stories into meditations for children. So I wrote my first book, Aladdin's Magic Carpet, 52 fairy stories, where they imagine their sleeping beauty, lying on a bed, sinking into the lovely mattress, or the Princess and the Pea, or flying like Peter Pan or Tinkerbell or Aladdin on a carpet. And I also wrote the Wishing Star as well, which was for older children. So this one is a soft bed. Each one is about 3 minutes. The Magician's Wand, where you magically relax each part of you. This one's for slightly older children. Flying Machine, Magic Mind Mail, Robot is a really popular one. And I did these books, and then I had this idea, I really need to relax some children in real life. So I had some children to my little flat in London, and I created this very unique 7-step system to helping children to relax. And it is, they move, they play, they stretch, they massage each other or themselves, they do some breathing, they do some affirmations, and then visualizations. So it's a 7-step process, and it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And I've had children fast asleep by the end. Often children with ADHD, with autism, absolutely love it, because you're following a system. And it was only 3 years after I'd created the system, around 2003, that I was flying up in the air thinking, this system follows the chakra system. And as therapists, of course, you would know about the chakra system. The 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 root chakra is move, where they're getting rid of all their energy. Play is creativity, or the sexual chakra, but that for children that would be the creative orange chakra. And then solar plexus, which is stretching. It's all about balance, yellow. Then massage is green, love, giving out. And then breathing is, yeah, is blue. Is blue. This is the throat chakra. Then affirmations, and then the crown chakra, lying down, relaxation. So you can see we're working through their natural energy system. And honestly, when I first started, I was just using exercises I'd picked up from college, drama games and singing exercises from breathing, and bits of yoga that I'd done with Lynn Marshall. In those of you who are old enough to remember Lynn Marshall, I think she was like the equivalent of the green goddess yoga in the 70s. So I was just using all the things that I'd picked up over the years. But the seven system, chakra system, really works. And so then in 2004, stroke 5, I started getting requests for classes all over the country. And then I thought I need to train others. So 2005, I did my first training in London, and I've now trained over 6,000 coaches from 52 countries, and an additional, I think, about at least 4,000 teachers in schools in this method. And I think at least 5 million children have been reached through the classes and the products. And it just works. It just works because it's so simple. And I think sometimes we get so bogged down in theory and programs for children that are complicated, and I'm all about all about the practical. It's just got to be simple and childlike. So I showed you that book, and Aladdin's Magic Carpet is a lovely book that we use in the classes, and they're all the fairy stories. If you're working with children that are older, the magic box is really nice. There's there you can see they're longer, so maybe they would take 5 minutes instead, maybe 5-6 minutes instead of 3 minutes. There's a waterfall, golden heart, treasure dragon, worry tree. And they're all beautifully designed. And I have there's another one called Pants of Peace. Going back to this idea of putting on a cardigan, the meditation is you put your pants on and that's your foundation. Your foundation is that of peace at the beginning of the day, and so that's always there. Peace is a constant. And in Pants of Peace, there are various things. They're all the qualities, actually. All my meditation books have got 52 meditations in each one. So there's so much content. So as a therapist, if you're working with children, you know, these books will give you lots of content. And then I've also got this one. This is one of my latest ones. So it covers different emotions. When I'm feeling upset, I just flip these. I imagine I'm floating like a feather. I breathe in and purr like a cat and say out loud, I'm determined, I'm positive. And they're really lovely and colourful. And then, talking of positive thoughts for the day, we were mentioning at breakfast time. This is really lovely. It's called What Can I Be Today? I am the most unique ninja of creation who spreads joy. So I'm the most spectacular visionary of the land who believes in magic. So they can create their own very unique title for each day. I mean, that's just such a lovely thing that they would remember. And then in total, I've got 19 books out, but I just brought a selection. And then if you have working with teens or adults, this is lovely. Power Up. It's high interval intense interval exercises, interval training exercises for the mind. So mind climb, thought release, mind check, power lift, and they're sort of like a little bit like a gym. It's the gym for the mind gym. And then press here, all the pressure points, like where a confidence button or a peace button, fear button, etc. So my whole thing is all about finding creative, fun ways to get children to relax. And one of the latest books was The Dream Machine, and there are 100,000 combinations of meditations. The whole process takes about 20 minutes. They choose which color portal they want to go in, and then they go to this page to go flying on a magic carpet, or they choose this page to go on a unicorn, and they meet different people, and they can do the whole thing over and over again 100,000 times. So it's all about making it fun and creative, because that's what children need. They need that creativity, and they're so good with their imagination. Yeah. So it's just opening up that whole imaginative world. And there is one other book that I haven't brought. It's called The Imaginarium, talking of imagination, and it's for teenagers or older people. And it's 25 chambers in the mind. So if you imagine your mind like corridors in your mind, and then there are lots of doors, and for each problem that we could have, there's a chamber that you can go into. So there's a chamber of creativity, a chamber of solutions, a chamber of peace, love, and 25 in total. And then inside that chamber, they go into the chamber, and the meditations are very technological, techno. They write and left swipe thoughts, and they have screens in their mind, and so it's like gaming, I guess, in a way. And so that appeals to the older age group. And then just finally, before I finish, I will mention you will get, I think Louise is going to send you, if you haven't already got a link to download a Calm Pack, but also if you're interested, I can send you, if it's not there, information about my training. So I run a training program which is great as an additional income for anyone running their own business. If you work with children, if you work with adults, and the training is the Relax Kids training. It is like a franchise, but it's not quite like a franchise. It's the training is online, and when you're trained, you learn the 7 steps, and then you can run classes for children from 2.5, so under 5s, all the way up to teens. You can do sessions for adults, one-to-one. I have about 10 different classes that you can run as a Relax Kids coach. And some of my coaches now they've been doing it for a while, some, and they are full-time, 22 classes a week, which is incredible. And going into schools, community centres, family hubs, all over, or setting up at home, or going into people's homes doing one-to-one coaching. So there's so many different avenues, and I love the fact that I'm very open, and I'm very how do you say, I'm very flexible, in that I don't want everyone to be a mini me. I want you to take what I've got, use it with what your skills and expertise and experience, and then create your own thing, and do Relax Kids your own way. So and that way we've just got so, it's used in so many different places, including care homes. One of my coaches took it into a care home, and as a result we've created Relax Seniors. And honestly, it brings a tear to your eye when you see these elderly people doing their affirmations with a feather, and looking into a mirror and saying I'm special or whatever, doing their breathing. It's amazing. So if you need more information about that, Louise can share it. If you have any questions, please do unmute or write in the chat. That would be lovely. And if not, I'll hand over back to Louise. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share these little ideas with you.
That was so valuable. Thank you very much. And so much, I think, is stuff that we as adults kind of know, but knowing something and doing something is very, very different. And one of the guests on here today, I've just put a little thing in the group. We used to have in our family, I've got two boys, they are 27 and 31 now, so they don't play, but we used to have a one good thing, one bad thing. So we would encourage them to say something good about the day and then something bad, and it would give that sort of excuse me, starting of the conversation. I think that's what's important with young kids, and we did it right up until they were in their late teens, and they would play along, which was quite good, and my husband played along as well. So and it's just getting people comfortable with talking about their emotions as well.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. No questions. And yes, so I have got the that if anyone does want to download the pack, I'm sure Louise, you can
Yes,
get.
everybody has already got the link. There might very well be some people that want to come back and ask you questions about how they can get involved with actually adding this to their business, because I think
Yes.
it's a phenomenal thing to be able to resell onto your clients who are also struggling with self-regulation and self-regulation with their children. And I do notice that whenever I come across people that are having challenges in their lives with other people in their lives, you can only control yourself. You can't control other people. So as you were saying about the imagining the colors and imagining, almost like a blanket of love around these people or your children, because you don't always like your children either.
No.
Love them to bits, but don't always like them. But giving them what they need rather than what they deserve at one time, I think is also is really important. So thank you so much. You've given us lots to think about, I think, and I'm sure that there'll be some calmer kids as a
Wonderful.
result.
And also, Louise, do you mind if I just add something?
Of course.
Doing a vision board workshop tomorrow night. If anyone wants to join, it's free. So
Is this for adults or for children?
adults. It's for
Oh.
adults. We've just had to extend to our Zoom so we can have extra people. But I'll just share the link there if anyone wants to join. It comes with another with a manual, no, a workbook for your. So if you haven't done your vision board, great for your business. I would really recommend it. Yep. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I will share that in the group as well.
Thank you.
Fabulous.